Hey, my check is it? Let me check. All right, my check is it? All right, so welcome back to another episode of the English live stream. And yeah, not really different from what we have discussed in the previous live streams. Today we're gonna talk about another aspect of life, as well as let's say one of the things that most of the people and most of the population care about. And yes, today we're going to learn about fame. Fame in general is, let's say, the state or the matters of being well known or being known to a lot of people. And yeah, let's say there are a lot of many famous people. So let's say when you hear these names, let's say names of people, and of course names of brand or let's say name of the product. So when you hear these names like Beyonce or Barack Obama or Ferrari, Ferrari, okay, we're gonna have let's say a quick imagination or a quick linkage to let's say the image of that thing. The reason behind is because well you have heard about these people or these name or these brands let's say too many times and you got familiar with that. So let's say when somebody recall it to you, you can let's say instantly recognize who it is or what does it look like. You can actually imagine that. So yeah, with these name or these brands, we'll call them, let's say, the trait of these brand are the general trait of these names are, let's say, being famous. Okay, and yes, we're gonna look. Let's say I have a deeper look into the word famous as well as the acronyms or the opposite of the word famous. So we're gonna have a word that can describe, let's say, not really not famous because if you're not famous, you're a normal person. However, let's say the acronym of the word famous would be the word that describe that somebody is not really famous in a good way, but let's say in a pretty negative way. And yesterday is a part we're going to look into after the definition of the word, let's say after the definition of the word famous first. So here you go. Yes, so many people can understand the word famous without, let's say, needing to explain it any further. Because, yeah, nowadays a lot of famous people are on the internet and yeah, they can instantly, let's say, for the kids these days, they just try to be famous. So even a kid know what famous is. Yes, and the state of being famous should be, let's say that if a person is famous, so that person is certainly known about by many other people. And if when you're reading an article or reading some newspaper, if you don't see the word famous, it can be replaced or it can be used, let's say, alternatively with the word well-known. Yeah, the word well-known is actually, let's say, just the synonym share a very similar trait in term of meanings with the word famous. So well-known can be understood as being known about by a lot of people. So yeah, let's say some famous name you can hear these days would be, let's say, Momo or MTV, and let's say McDonald's, all that. So when you hear those names, or okay, so that's a name of people, and if you say look into brands or clothing brands to be specific, let's say when mentioning the name Dior or Chanel or yeah, let's say Dolce Gabbana, you already know like what is that brand because you may have heard about it too often. And yeah, that explains for the reason why they are famous and how it affects on our life, which gonna be, let's say, generally described later in this live stream. Okay, let me check one hand. Facebook. So yeah, as I introduced, let's say, as it was in my short introduction at the beginning of this live stream, you can see there are, let's say, good type and bad type of famous. So yeah, as I mentioned, like the word famous has an acronym, and that acronym would be infamous. Let's say the most obvious, or if some people don't use infamous, they can use the word notorious. So similarly to famous and well-known, these two words, infamous and notorious, share, let's say, a very similar trait in terms of meaning, and they both understood as well-known for being bad or evil. So yeah, let's say famous in Vietnamese, you can understand it as nổi tiếng, and infamous or notorious, when translated into Vietnamese, it should be something like tai tiếng. Okay, so those are, let's say, the main two different types of being famous these days. And let's say a lot of people are having, let's say, misleading thoughts about how to get famous. So a lot of people, let's say, want to try to become famous like instantly or in a short time without, let's say, doing anything, let's say, significantly or recognizable. And what they actually do is, let's say, creating drama or creating, let's say, do something that raise the criticism in the society. So that's why that is, let's say, the first step of the foundation for being famous. And yes, that started from back in the day, like in a lot of story of teenager trying to be famous, but let's say in a notoriously way, not in a good way, like being famous by being intelligent or let's say being having some talented that people know about you about that. But yeah, they just do, let's say, not so good thing and become viral for some certain reason because it raises the problem in the society or something. Let's say in this case, các bạn, or yeah, let's say that would be a, clear, very clear illustration about being infamous or notorious. We don't deny that he is not famous, but he is actually infamous. He famous for the bad thing. So yeah, that is, let's say, the two different meanings or the two different way of being famous. So famous or notorious. So yeah, this is a quick, let's say, reading, a quick discussion question. What do you think is the fastest way to get known by being famous or by being notorious? Yeah, like nobody wants to be known as notorious, right? But as you can see, as a matter of fact, that in these days, nowadays, people are more, let's say, interviewing or let's say the events, which event is more interviewing, that event will certainly get more attention of the society or get the attention of the public. And yes, let's say, except you do anything, except for when you do it, let's say anything that is outstanding or exceptional, and nobody else can do, you can become, let's say, famous like instantly, um, Ánh Viên, which is the swimmer of Vietnam. She, let's say, become viral after winning the gold medal in the Olympic Games back in the day. But yeah, there are some notorious stars. Let's say, as I mentioned on the previous slide, like Khá Bảnh, or let's say Hu Na Hồng or anything like that. So actually, they're getting very famous. They gain money from being famous also. But let's say people know to them with, let's say, not a really good impression, and somehow that will become the way that they're trying to develop their, let's say, their trait their online trait, which means sometimes in real life if they don't act like that, but let's say online, they do that for the view, to do it for the attention. But yeah, that would lead to some certain misleading in terms of the viewer, which is going to be described later. How celebrities affecting the normal person or affecting teens, especially. And yes, so I think fastest way to get known, if you don't have anything special, just do something stupid and you will be known like in the next day when you are on the internet, nothing is safe. All right, thank you. And yes, as I mentioned, let's say the two previous example. Yes, you see the picture and you know who it is, right? If you know, you know. So here we call I don't know, this term actually, I don't really know about this term in English, but let's say I try my best to give it a translation. So I call them the teenage idol. And yeah, teenage is, let's say, teenage. I think I missed an S there, apostrophe S here. Teenage idol. So idol can be understood as a person or thing that is loved and admired very much. So a lot of the fans, which is the one that admire or love the idol, look up to the image of the idol and let's say having some impact upon their lifestyle or upon their thoughts or mindset. It's mostly depends on the let's say not mostly, but somewhat depends on the idol influences. And if we don't call them teenage idol, there are, let's say, a more formal term, or let's say a more suitable term for using in public. We call them influencer. Influencer is a person or a thing that influences somebody or something, especially a person with the ability to influence potential buyers of a product or service by recommending it on social media. So yeah, this definition is pretty linking to, let's say, buying products and commercializing the influencer. But yeah, in short, you can understand that an influencer is a person or a thing that influences the other person. And yes, influencer nowadays, let's say, are varied in terms of content, so different type of genre that the viewer or the audience want to watch. It depends. So one of the highest genre of influencer nowadays would be about health and beauty, as well as food, eatery, food eatery, and lastly would be, what is it? Music influencer. So there are, let's say, thousand more different type of influencer on the internet nowadays. But yeah, you can understand, let's say, for some, say, influencer, there are other influencer of Vietnam on the internet nowadays. So you can understand that they are the one that has the affection or the effect upon the other people. They influence other people by their way of living or by their lifestyle. And yes, let's say, let me give you some example. So yeah, influencer, let's say, very famous in Vietnam. Let's say would be include Giang Oi, if you, I think you're familiar with her, Giang Oi, and she is, let's say, an influencer doing very good job about daily vlog. Yeah, actually, you can learn something from her. And beside that, when in terms of vlog and food, we have a Peter Bar. So those people are the example of being famous for the influencer. Okay, but yeah, you can see the picture. You can understand that they are not really good influencer at all, because many of the kids were, let's say, affected by the teenage idol mindset, and somehow it would make their life even more difficult than it is now. I mean, the teenage idol mindset would somehow create some disadvantages for their life, especially for, let's say, the way or the perspective that other people put on them, which create not a so good impression upon the personality, or let's say in real life with them. So yes, both have the good side, whatever it is, but it has both good side and bad side. So consider, let's say, carefully before being influenced by any of the idols or influencers. And here, let's say, are some impacts of the influencer, as you can see. So I divided into three let's say advantage, or let's say positive impact of influencer upon the society, and three negative aspects of how the influencer affect the teams or the society. So first advantage, or the first positive figure of being influencer, is that social media influencers are entertaining. So as you can see, like all media outlet, we often turn to social media for entertainment, and especially when we need a break from the daily life. So this is true for the minors as well. So more than, let's say, in aesthetics, there are more than a quarter of all teenagers follow humor or meme. So meme-based influencer, and even higher percentage of follow streamers and influencers that focus on music and gaming. Yes, of course, kids like music and kids like gaming. So of course, and youth turn to social media for entertainment, replacing magazines, entertainment news shows on the TV with a more community-based approach. So yeah, so let's say social media is a great way or great means of entertainment, and a lot of people, let's say, looking up things on social media now today. But yeah, the influencer on the social media, let's say, can promote activism in kids. That is the second advantage of, let's say, positive impact of the influencer. Some influencer can use their social media platform to spread out social awareness. And teenage often use social media to learn about and explore their interests. Influencer can encourage their audiences to advocate for causes by providing information, and they can also give young people the resources and the inspiration to engage with the communities. And lastly, influencer can provide company and comfort. So let's say, taking for example, looking back at the COVID-19 pandemic, let's say the peak of it, like everywhere has to go under lockdown and quarantine and all stuff. And during that time, children and teens used social media to fill the void of social interaction when they couldn't see their friends. And teens turns to ask the influencer to remain positive during difficult time. And as many promoted kindness and self-care. So that those are, let's say, all the positive impacts of the influencer, but as I said, everything has two sides. So there are some negative impacts of the influencer upon the teenage as well as the kids. Would be include, let's say, social media influence create comparison. So children and teenage have enough peer pressure from in-person interactions without adding stress from social media influencers. So since influencers often present in a clean, shiny, and fun version of their life, it can create some comparison for young followers. And this increased social comparison has been linked to anxiety, depression, sleep issues, and negative body image among youth. So yeah, that is actually not the influencer fault. However, yes, influencers should be careful upon preparing or deciding which content they're going to use to public it and let's say influence other people, because somehow it will create pressure for other people in this case. Let's see. Only 20 minutes. Okay. Good. And yeah, besides creating comparison between teenage and kids and all that, influencer may expose minors to unhealthy products and themes. So food and drink companies often turn to social media influencer as their KOL or let's say their representative or ambassador to promote their products through sponsored posts that show the influencer really enjoy the products. But unfortunately, not only can these posts blend into children's newsfeed as authentic content, but they can promote unhealthy behavior such as using alcohol or junk food. So yeah, a lot of things to take into consideration nowadays when we're watching on social media. And besides, expose minors to unhealthy products and themes, influencer can have a pretty high chances of let's say, promote unrealistic ideas. And because of filters and photos, you see filter and photo altering technique on the internet these days. So you see like when they post a photo, there are like tons of, let's say, 10 different layers of filter on their photo. So as you can see, like social media posts created by an influencer can promote unrealistic body standards. In fact, like the more and more young influencers are undergoing cosmetic procedure in return for promotions, and these practice further distance influencers from their followers, leaving fans to feel that they have to catch up to those who they follow. So yeah, giving unrealistic ideas to fans is not really a good way to, let's say, being an influencer, but everything is trade-off. Let's say if they do that, they actually getting benefits or yeah, gaining a little bit more from their income. But yeah, somehow it would create the unknown impact upon the mindset or the perspective on life of the youth. So that is just my really quick point of view. But yeah, if you have any other different view, just let's say send it in the comment section and let me know. And here are, let's say, different impacts of the celebrities upon the society. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, celebrity have powerful impacts on how teens view themselves and how they see the world. So as I said, celebrity or influencer, when they are in the internet, they actually creating a scenario or creating a life. They're creating an online life, maybe, and that can be, let's say, misleading to some of the youth, and yeah, that will leave a not a really good result upon the community for the later on life, because yeah, if you got the wrong mindset, if you got the wrong idea of how life work, you can easily to mess it up. And this actually applied for some bad influencer on the internet that, let's say, giving out bad ideas, and let's say contaminates the children brains nowadays. So yes, be very wise upon choosing who you want to follow on the internet nowadays. And secondly, we have, but yeah, a good side of the celebrity when upon helping these, let's say, helping the society is that celebrity can raise awareness and reduce stigma. So many celebrities are open about their struggles in life with addiction or mental health. And as a result, they help to reduce the stigma and help raise for awareness. For example, before reportedly entertaining rehab after apparently drug overdose earlier this summer, Demi Lovato released a song about relapse titled Sober. And consequently, the song inspired young people nationwide to open up about their substance abuse and mental health challenges. Mhm. And yeah, beside Demi Lovato, we have the one of the very popular star now today would be Ariana Grande, and she has been frank about her battle with PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety following by a bombing at the concert venue while she was performing. Um, and yeah, let's say celebrity are being open about their feelings so that um, celebrity can influence the public, like understanding of the issue they are having, and actually that will help the teenage or the kids to reduce stigma and raise awareness upon the society. Next impact of the celebrity would be, yeah, the survey found out that 80% of teen girls compare themselves to images they see of celebrity. And almost half of those reported that celebrity images make them feel dissatisfied with the way they look. Okay. So yeah, some upon the internet you may see like celebrity and anorexia. Anorexia is, let's say, the word that I told you in the last 2 or 3 live stream before. Anorexia is a word that describes the extremely difficult or extremely malnutrition state or of diet that a person follow in order to lose weight in a short time. Anorexia. There are some cases of celebrity offer opportunity to talk to teens about how dangerous the thin ideal can be, and they can discuss a healthy way to stay fit and eat well. So that is what actually the stars do now today, and stars who speak about coping with mental illness demonstrate that people with such diagnosis can be successful and happy. Mm, okay, and the last impacts of being a celebrity would be celebrity are real people with real struggles. So team can listen to their story and let's say somewhat be inspired by their story, and they can learn from their experience, including when and how to seek for help. So those are, let's say, the impact of the celebrity in general. Celebrity, let's say, including, let's say, influencer also, and the people that are well known to the society or the public. And a more interesting fact that celebrity endorsement actually has some impact on teen nutrition. So moreover, like a celebrity influencer influence how teen eats. And the research found that 71% of the beverage endorsement of promoted sugar sweetened drinks and 81% of the endorsed food were low in healthy nutrition, which were, let's say, advertised or cooperates by the image of a celebrity. So in other words, you can understand that celebrities are encouraging teen to eat food that doesn't support their physical or mental development. That is because nutrition and teen mental are closely linked. So certain nutrition directly contribute to mental health. And an increasing in body research revealed the negative impact of sugar on the brain and the body. So yeah, like in the opposite view with what the image of the celebrity are used for advertising, I think, let's say, parents as well as kids or teen nowadays should be very careful, or let's say be a little bit picky would be acceptable upon choosing the product you're using, but don't, let's say, don't do it because it has the image or it was advertised by one of your celebrity or one of the person you really admired, but choose carefully and see if that really fits for your life or for your lifestyle. Okay. And yes, there are, let's say, pros and cons of being famous or being well known also. So as you can obviously, like, celebrity get recognized everywhere they go. So yeah, it is needless to say that when you go to a different place, you are, say, certainly to be known or to be recognized by the people. And some people, let's say, enjoy being known to by the society or by other people, but some people find it annoying or irritating, which actually bothering their life. And yes, a privilege of being a celebrity is that celebrity will certainly get special treatment wherever they go. Yeah, and you can understand that being famous is generally being means, let's say, means being richer. And because the reason behind this is, let's say, because one of the very obvious advantage of being famous is that the fame generally bring a lot of fortune. And celebrity and other famous people are generally richer than the average person. So you can see on the when famous people or celebrity talk about their life, they would, let's say, include something about luxury homes, cars, fancy gift, expensive clothes, and such other materialistic pleasure of life convert from dream to a reality when when that person become famous. And yes, celebrity and famous people, of course, they will have fame. And lastly, one of the advantage or one of the reason why nowadays a lot of teens or a lot of young people wants to be famous, it is being famous offer you many opportunities in your life. So when people become famous, more opportunities arise in life, whether they are career related or not. So for example, someone like Michael Jordan made a living not only from playing basketball, but he was also the face of Nike and promoted by many other brands. And also somebody like Kim Kardashian can afford to dwell into newer businesses like fashion apparel, perfume simply because she is famous and she can afford to sustain and promote them. So many celebrities tend to embark upon their entrepreneurship path as soon as they achieve their stardom. So after all, if Kim Kardashian can reportedly charge upward like $8,000 for doing nothing but sending one tweet from her Twitter account, then anything is possible. So you can see, like she get $8,000 just to send a tweet. So making money is not, let's say, never has been so easy. Okay, but let's say beside the advantage, we also have the disadvantages of being famous. So the famous people can't do the thing that the average person can. But I think this one is not really correct. I think they actually can if they want to do it, they can do it. But let's say to explain for this statement, I would say like the celebrities and other famous people cannot live the lives of the normal people. So they may be forced to live in their own little scheduled work, and will generally be unable to do things the average person can do. So this advantage of being famous can stop celebrity from indulging in the little pleasure of life, which can be very frustrating for some time. Okay, and being famous or celebrity can attract stalker, of course, paparazzi and all that stuff. That will lead to let's say the advantage number five you can see on the screen would be they would have no privacy in their life. So yeah, you can understand that. Let's say, for example, right, for if Kim Kardashian wear bikini and step out on the beaches of Miami to catch some sun, the entire world is going to know about it. So there are, let's say, camera everywhere, and social media are super fast nowadays. So yeah, once a movement or an action that a celebrity do can possibly be known to the world in just, let's say, in a matter of a few seconds. Okay. And let's say people will constantly judge celebrity. So tabloids or magazines, newspaper or blogs and other form of media constantly judging celebrity on their personality, habits, bodies, and a lot more. So reading demeaning, rude, or nasty, insulting, or derogatory lies about one self is a part or parcel of a celebrity daily routine. So yes, whatever it is, as I said, whatever it is, it has two phases. So when you have the advantages, you also have to endure the disadvantages. So let's say it is a price you need to pay off for being famous. So question posing here for the audience would be, do you want to become famous? Let's say for myself, my answer would be no, because I would rather lead a normal life with, let's say, a lot of privacy rather than exposing my life and to the public, and let's say literally every action or every movement of me are being known by other people. So let's say you will I cannot be, let's say, I cannot be fully enjoying my life if I live in those, let's say, in those words, like being watched all the time. So yes, my answer is no. I don't want to be famous. I want to be an average show, to be honest. Okay, good. So as you can see, like the impacts of the influencer or the celebrity can be varied. Like what I told you in the previous few slides, sorry. So what we're gonna talk about next is this one, the celebrity, as well as being the role model in the society. So you already know, like celebrity are often strong role model, especially for young people, right? Okay. Okay. Well, okay, kind of find it. Yeah. So celebrity, as I said, are a strong model, a role model. So role model is actually a person that has good characteristic or good personality trait that the other people look up to, and let's say building a lifestyle or building a mindset upon what they see or upon what the role model or that person do. Okay, so celebrity are often strong role model, especially for young people, to manifest this opinion. I would say like they can be very powerful. Celebrity can be a very powerful forces in our life, giving us hope and inspiration. and they can help us see the world through different eyes, learn about new ideas, and even help to make a difference in our communities. Okay, and celebrity are a good role model because they can inspire many people to take action. Many celebrities have become, let's say, more environmentally friendly and use their fame to encourage other people to do the same. And they are also known for taking care of their health and physical fitness by exercising regularly and eating healthily. So more celebrity role models are becoming involving in charitable causes in their communities or worldwide by volunteering for governmental organization or organizing fundraisers for people who need help with medical bills or food donation. So those are, let's say, very good manner or very good actions of the celebrity as well as being the role model for the society. And lastly, let's say the celebrity can set a positive example for young people to follow. Yeah, so this I don't think I will need to explain this one more time because yeah, I explained it as a part of the influencer already. But let's say if there is good role model, there are also bad role model. So just like any other person, a celebrity can be a bad role model for the youth. So some of the most famous role model are known for their bad behavior, such as violence and substance abuse, which can be a disaster not only for mental health, but is also for the mental health of their young fans if they follow their celebrity role model. But yeah, let's face the facts that unfortunately some kids nowadays look up to these stars and try to emulate them by copying their actions and beliefs. So they use the celebrity as the excuse for why they do the things that are not really good for them or the society as a whole. For example, in today's pop culture, some celebrities are known for easily losing their temper, which make young people think that it's okay to lose your temper in public or say acting rude in public. Okay. So yeah, you may watching the live stream until now, you may question yourself how to become famous. I cannot grant it. This step will actually help you to become famous. But let's say I will give you a brief idea or a general idea how to gain more interaction on social media, let's say online. Okay, so let's say the easiest way for people to get to know you is about the internet nowadays. So you should beginning by making it all about others, not yourself. So if you are going to reach a niche celebrity status, your first step is to become a truly trusted resources for others. This means like you have to do something like inspire, entertain, and educate others without thought to making sales or promoting yourself in the business. So be a real person behind that company, not a faceless entity. And yet, do not be better than the others. Rather be helpful and friendly and humble. So that will create a good image for you on the audience perspective about you. Okay, secondly, you should get your face and your personality out there. So brands are the name of some product to use. So brands are not really spread by products and service anymore. They are spread by their personality on social websites and new media. So it is almost as if we have returned to the day all storekeeper had personal relationship with all the customer. Of course, this can no longer be face to face, but it can be strong relationship nevertheless. Today, digital consumer of anything demand relationship. So what you need to do is that you try to inject your personality into everything you do online or on the ground. If you are in a business niche, hold events, make video and plaster them all over the place so that people will actually know what you do on the internet and how you are affecting the society or the community. Okay, and provide consistent, public, interesting, and free content. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain it because it obviously will attract or encourage more and more viewers to follow or to give you support upon your way to become famous. And yeah, sponsor important charities. A lot of people getting famous by, let's say, contributing or donating to charities. So I think this is also a good way. As well as lastly, work on your fame every day. So don't sleep on your being famous. But this means many things. I mean, literally, what you can do is to join new groups, to contact local media with, or to make a press release. It can mean creating amazing content or videos, or reaching out to new communities on social media. But what you have to bear in mind is that you need to be consistently committed to doing something every day to promote your fame. And if you do this for, let's say, 1 year or 2 years, you will be pretty amazed at how famous you will have become with your ideal audience. Okay, and yeah, let's say those steps are not really practical, but how the general view how to be known to other people on the internet. So if you have the intention or if you have the desire to be famous, good luck with that by following our steps. But if you have any other better recommendation on building your image on the internet, please leave it on the comment section and let me know. Okay, and lastly, the discuss question. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. Discuss, so can famous and happiness go along? Sometime maybe I'll need your answer on the comment section also. But let's say talking from my point of view, I don't think that famous and happiness can go along. Yeah, of course, if you are famous, you can have, let's say, possessed huge amounts of fan or say property and all that stuff. But what you'll be lacking is, let's say, your privacy. So if you are a person who like quiet, if you don't like being watched or being viewed or being stalked on by other people every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So yeah, I don't think, let's say, that would create some happiness in your life because you will feel like your life will be intruded or being stalked, being watched all the time by other people. You can literally cannot do or live the life as comfortable as it was before. So for me, I personally don't think that famous will bring happiness to my life. So that is the main reason why let's say, giving the statement or giving the decision of don't want to be famous in my life. So that would explain for the lack of happiness and lack of privacy as well as freedom. Okay, so if you have any ideas or any opinion about this matters, please leave it in the comment section. Thank you very much. And yeah, this live stream is pretty limited regarding the content. So I think that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for joining in the live stream. So let's say stay tuned and see you in the next live stream on Friday.